This is Down the Rabbit Hole, where we question the mysteries and nature of reality. I'm your host, Justin Perry. My girlfriend's angry doppelganger. So I guess a little context is in order. My girlfriend and I had been together about a year at the time. Never had big problems. We are both pretty relaxed people. Never had a big fight. Never had trust issues. The whole shenanigan. So one day, I was out in front of my apartment building just smoking a cigarette. This was before we lived together. I had seen her the night before, had a nice dinner, gone out to a bar, then went back to my place, after which she took a taxi home. So as I'm standing out in front of my apartment building, she pulls up in a cab. I wasn't expecting her and was pleasantly surprised to see her. I put out my cigarette, smiled, and walked up saying something like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" in a very friendly way. She scorns at me and slaps me across my face. Obviously, I'm dumbfounded and at a loss for words, so I just kind of look at her. She never said anything, just barged right past me into the building. So I followed her up to my apartment, asking her what was happening the whole way. She goes into my apartment, grabs her bag and some of her stuff she left there, throws a few things at me, breaking a glass or two and knocking down a bunch of stuff on a shelf. She calls me a pig. She says she knows everything and that I've broken her heart. I'm trying to figure out what's going on, obviously, and she stops on her way out when I touch her sleeve, glares at me again, and slaps me again. She tells me something like, "I hope I never see you again," and walks out. I followed her to the street, and she got in her cab and drove off. The street was pretty empty. This was maybe 8 or 9 a.m., and I watched her drive off. At this point, I'm a loss for words, scared and a little confused. Then, as I'm watching the cab drive away, someone hugs me around my waist from behind. I turn around and it's her in running clothes. She was wearing heels and a leather jacket before, and I went completely pale. She said hi in her usual happy-go-lucky tone, then noticed my look and said, "What's wrong?" I spun around. No taxi. It had literally driven away 5 seconds earlier. No way it could have turned in that time, and all the lights were red. I didn't say anything to her. I just ran upstairs. Her bag was gone. Things were still broken. My door still wide open. So then I told her. We were both momentarily confused. There's no way I could have mixed her up with someone else, and she's the only child, so she has no siblings that could look like her. So we decided to check the security cameras, and sure enough, it shows me following a girl to my apartment. The angles weren't great, and the film wasn't great quality, but it was pretty easy to see me and my face. But hers was always kind of hard to make out. It looked very similar to her, but I never got a clear shot. To this day, I can't explain it, and it creeps me out anytime I talk about it. and you just went down the rabbit hole.